Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? Thank you for coming through, man. They call me Jay, and welcome to Proudly Motherlandian, man. You guys good? Man, I hope you had a great week, and I hope everything worked out for you during this week, man. Today I want us to talk about something real quick, man. This is to my African brothers and sisters. How would you feel if you knew that your government actually cared and felt about your well-being? How would you really feel if you knew that the moment you leave your country of birth, your mother's land, your father's land, and move to a different country in search of a greener pasture, your government still holds you at heart? Now, coming from motherland myself, I will tell you this: that is going to take off 90% of the stress that most of my brothers and sisters out there feel when they go out in search of greener pastures. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming through, man. If this is your first time seeing this face, they call me Mr. J. I'm a motherland and I live out in the diaspora, and I do drive vlogs every now and then talking about issues affecting my continent because, yes, I am a proud son of the soil, you feel me? So just go ahead, man, be part of the platform. Hit that subscribe button, and then do not forget, give us that thumbs up, because the more thumbs up you give us, the more the YouTube algorithm understands what we are trying to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to talk about the whole movement of Africans out of Africa, especially the youthful stage, to search for greener pastures in different parts of the globe. Now, as you all know, man, statistics shows that the continent of Africa, its population is predominantly the youth. You feel me? And it is really sad to see that these youths are the ones that go through perilous journeys to make it out of Africa in search of greener pastures. Human beings, as human beings, man, we are irrational animals. And as a human being, when you grow up, when you get to a stage, especially us coming from Africa, we know that at a certain age, we are supposed to start contributing to the well-being of the general family. And when we see that where we are, it's not possible to do that, we seek for greener pastures, which is why most people travel far and wide just to ensure that they can get a job and get paid so that they can send money back to take care of the family or the external family. I wanted to talk about the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, and one of those African countries which it is really amazing to see that there are still African countries out there with leaders who actually put their citizens at the forefront of anything they do. Now, we all know, some of us, man, some countries in Africa, once you leave your father's land, once you leave your country of birth and go out to the world to seek for greener pastures, the government doesn't really give a damn about you. And it is a good thing to see that there are still some government around Africa that actually give a damn about their citizens. Now, I'm talking about the Federal Republic of Ethiopia. Yes, you don't know where Ethiopia is, this is where it is. Ethiopia is one of those countries that it's had its own internal turmoils, up and down civil instability, separation to create a different country, Eritrea, Somalia, stuff like that. But in recent days, man, recent events, man, this country's government under this young Prime Minister Abiy, he decided to repatriate 70,000 Ethiopians, 70,000 of his citizens, permanently working in Saudi Arabia. And ladies and gentlemen, the recent trend in Africa is that most people leave from different countries around Africa and they move towards the Middle East in search of a job. And when I talk about Middle East, I'm talking about Dubai, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait. And statistics also shows that majority of these folks living are women. And we all know that women, when they leave, when our African sisters leave, they go out there to work as maid, as nannies, as house helps in some of these Arab countries, man. I want to talk about the recent situation of the regime in Ethiopia deciding that, you know what, it's time to come back home. But first, let me say this. Sometimes when our brothers and sisters leave from our various African countries and go out there in search of greener pastures, not always do they get lucky. And what most people do nowadays is you can either go through an agent who gets you a job over there, or most people just book a flight and they go out there and look for the jobs. And when this happens, sometimes when you get a flight and you get to Dubai to search for a job, not everybody becomes lucky. So some of them overstay their visas and some of them overstay their legal permanency residency over there. So the government of Ethiopia decided that, you know what, rather than having our people being there stuck, we are going to bring them back home. And what did they do? They did the greatest thing of all. And let me go back to what I asked in the beginning. How would you feel if you were out there in the world in search of greener pastures, knowing that your government actually thinks and feels about you? How would that make you work better? I just want to know. Leave a comment in the down section. Let me say this, man. It's rather unfortunate that in recent years, man, we have been seeing all sorts of documentaries, all sorts of vile and evil images online about our African brothers and sisters who go out there, especially our African sisters, mothers, aunties who go out there in search of greener pastures. We've had videos, we've had images of some African sisters working out there in Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, and Saudi Arabia who are being raped by their Arab masters. We have had situation of African sisters being locked up in rooms, tortured, maltreated, starved to death, some even fed to animals. Some even, it's crazy, dehumanized. Some even die. But the fact that some of these sisters, especially those of my sisters from Saudi Arabia, because let me just say this, there's a whole lot of Ethiopians out there in the Middle East doing great jobs. There's a whole lot of sisters from that beautiful country out there working. They leave their countries and they go out there just to fend and then show that the people at home can eat 3 square meals a day, just to ensure that their families can go to the hospitals when they are sick, because we all know that most African leaders are not in there to actually help the people. Some of them are in there for personal gains, personal and family enrichment, which is why some of them get into power and they start putting their friends around them. It becomes a clique of thieves and embezzlers. But ladies and gentlemen, with all these that we see in and out on social media every day, the recent one is that of the situation of sisters from Malawi, how they were being tortured and one even died. But the sad reality is this, man. Sometimes when our sisters go out there to do housekeepers job, nanny jobs, some of them, the moment they touch down, which is something I really don't understand why it happens, they get their passport seized. And from the moment that you see somebody's passport or even identification, that should already be a red flag. That is the beginning of, human slavery. And what is happening in the Middle East with our African sisters is straight human slavery. Some of them leave kids to go out there and fend. Some of them have families. But it seems as if once they get there, these Arab folks, they just straight forget that and just become very evil. Now let me just say this, man. This is not an attack on the Arab people, because we do have videos online on YouTube and everywhere, social media, of some Arab masters being very, very good. Some Arab family treating African sisters very, very good. Some even pay for weddings. Some even attend weddings of these nannies who went there to take care of their kids. Some are extremely, very, very humane. But it's rather unfortunate that we got to call a spade a spade. The majority of these folks are straight evil. Now, I don't know if it's the agency's fault, or I don't know if it's just pure darkness of the heart. But let me come back to what we're trying to say. How would you feel if you traveled out of your country and you knew that whatever the situation, your government has your back? I will end this vlog by saying this, man. I want you to leave a comment and let me know. I want to hear from you. Let me know exactly, if you are an African living in the diaspora, is your government aware of your presence wherever you are? Is your government giving you services? Have they put to in your disposal ways that you can, go home if you want to go home, or if they give you some money? Now, I know that back in the days when the Cameroonian government used to give some student allowances to some people studying in America. Now, I don't know if that is still going on, and I want you to leave a comment and let me know exactly what your government is doing for you. And if you are out there in the diaspora, if you are out there in the Middle East, I want to understand, is your government providing services to you through which, if you get threatened or if you feel like you're being a human slave, you can leave? That's my time, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Do not forget to watch the other videos, man. We out here doing what we're supposed to do, man. My heart goes out to everybody who's lost a family, to all of these Middle East nanny and housekeeping situation, and to all of our sisters there, man. The governments of these various African countries need to ensure that sisters people can go back home the moment they're being maltreated. And shout out to those sisters in Malawi doing a great job to help their sisters stuck out there in Oman to go back home. That's my time, man. We are together. Peace.